What's up, Cancer? Welcome to your May 2020 reading. This is going to be a general reading for you, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus signs. It may not resonate with all of you guys, so definitely check out your other signs so you can get a clearer message or an added message or whatever. And what's up, cross watchers? Cancer? Okay. You know, it's funny because how have you guys been feeling? That's first of all. And I ask that because this is a very scattered reading. There's a lot. There's a lot and there's not a lot, but it may feel like a lot. I don't know. Are you guys feeling like things are wrong, but you can't put your finger on it? I'm getting some of that. I'm getting some of, there's a lot of fear popping up here. I guess what I want to ask you first and foremost before I even dive into these cards is what are we doing? Like are we trying to fight against something that's good for us? There's a lot of I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm going to read this. This is such a scattered reading and I'm getting messages that are kind of, it's almost like I'm going to work from the front to the back or from the back to the front. Okay. So I want to talk about your added messages cards before I even get into the first initial card that's on the spread. But before I do, going back to feeling like there's a lot going on. Some of you guys may be feeling like you're juggling a lot. Some of you guys are trying to, in a sense, it feels like some of you guys are trying to almost decide if you're going to solidify something, if you're not. There's something that's in front of you. There's things that you guys want. There's things that you guys have been talking about, with your partner or just, with your friends or just thinking over in yourself. But it's almost like some of you guys are, even though you see clearly what it is that you want, there is also this fighting against it. So you got at the bottom of the deck, you got the Two of Pentacles, which this is about weighing out options, right? This is about kind of like just doing this back and forth dance. And some of you guys may be feeling like things are a little wavy, maybe even in your relationships. Maybe in your finances, there's a lot of unknown things and unknown factors going on for a lot of people right now, especially while we're quarantined. So that could be jobs, that could be housing, again, relationships, all these things. But it's interesting. The Taurus card is right underneath here, the Hierophant, right? And we are in Taurus energy. And Taurus energy really requires all of us to look around at the things that we value, right? It really makes us take stock of what are the things that we're investing in, whether it be our time, our money, our feelings, whatever. Is it worth it? Is this thing reciprocating value back to me? Like, am I valued? This is a month of value. And with you guys, it's really no different. Now, what I will say, again, I want to work from the back to the front, kind of. You've got, as the extra advice cards, you've got the King of Wands, you've got the Ten of Swords, and you've got the Four of Cups. Cancer. You guys are such intuitive people. You guys have this knowing that's crazy. Whether, you've been told that or not, I tell you guys all that at the time because I want you to understand where your power lies. With this King of Wands here, the thing that sets the King of Wands apart from all the other kings is that fire energy, right? That passion, that I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to do that risk, right? Fire signs in general would be more of a risky kind of archetype, right? Because they're very impulsive in many ways. They're just, they do what they're drawn to do. And for you guys who have been riding or sitting on this thing that you want, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job opportunity, whether it be, a new place to live, whatever it is, you guys already know what you want, but there's a certain level of risk that has to be involved that I think you guys are really, really scared to take. And okay, Cancer, you guys may have been burned in the past. We got the Ten of Swords, we got the Four of Cups, and I feel like it's almost this juggling of like you guys seeing exactly what you want and like having the knowing that you have the ability and wanting to have the courage to go for it, but then also having this your mind playing tricks on you and getting in the way, and like if something gets close you're like I don't know, right? It's a very hot and cold, but it feels like it's out of wanting to be safe, wanting to feel protected, not wanting to take a risk on certain things. Now, especially if this is relationship, I feel like a lot of you guys see what it is that you want in front of you. And some of you guys might have been spending your time being very guarded from someone because you're afraid that, you know, I don't want to take this chance because if this ends up like my last situation, I can't. Like, I just can't, right? A lot of you guys have been feeling this kind of defensive energy too, which we'll get into with the Seven of Wands, but I encourage you, for some of you guys, yep, you've been holding back. Whether it's your emotions, your time, whatever it is, it feels like you guys are in this place where things have not been the same. Now, this could be you, this could be a partner that you're dealing with, but things have not been the same in terms of like energy feeling like it's being held back, or maybe you guys haven't been talking to someone as much, and it's not that you don't want to. It's not any of that. It's there's this want and there's this whatever, but there's almost like this, oh, but what's the use? What's the point, right? Ten of Swords, whatever you guys dealt with in the past, Cancer, if you have something else staring you in the face, and you know who you are if this is feeling like it's resonating, right? Use your discernment, but this is not that, right? It's the end of the Ten of Swords. It's the end of the struggle. It's the end of all the deceit. And some of you guys might very well have been, again, there might have been space between you and other people in terms of communication. You see how she's holding her phone, but it's almost like maybe you guys have kind of stopped or slowed down your communication with someone. But it's funny. If that's the case, I do feel like you're still in this person's mind. But also, you guys might be feeling very defensive at this time. Like, there's that Seven of Wands twice, right? I just think that you guys have a lot of fear of not wanting to repeat old things, but you're not repeating old things because you're not the same person, right? Yeah. Queen of Wands. Clarifying that cup, that Four of Cups. So you got the King of Wands and Queen of Wands. Some of you guys see there's something in front of you guys that you guys are very, very attracted to. There's something in front of you that there's a lot of passion there. There would be a lot of fun there. There would be a lot of happiness there, a lot of sexual, chemistry there. But you guys aren't taking, for whatever reason, you guys are self-sabotaging, right? You guys are starting to overthink things. Do not overthink things right now. Do not, do not, do not. I think we talked about this last time. Don't do it, Cancer. If you guys are dealing with someone, especially if they're, let's say, an air sign or a fire sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, you might be feeling very defensive, especially if they try to bring this to your attention. Because it almost feels like there's been energy that's been pulled away, and they might even be coming at you like, hey, are we good? What's up? Or you might be doing this with that person, and someone is feeling a bit defensive with it. Now, you guys have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. Again, whatever it is that you guys are fighting against, it's also what it is that you want, right? This Seven of Wands being next to this Queen of Pentacles, you guys want the things. You guys want the happy wife, happy life, the kids, the stability, all these things, but you see how she's also kind of like jabbing at it. I don't want you guys to be in this energy that's defensive. I just feel like if you guys have pulled away your energy, if someone else has pulled away their energy, things might just be a little bit wonky right now. And you guys might be feeling like you want to fight. Or the other person might be feeling like they want to fight. And you're feeling like, ugh, why do you just want to argue with me? Like, you just hit me up to argue. But I will say some of you guys are doing a bit of a self-sabotage dance, right? There is this element of you guys trying to weigh out the options. You already know what you want. You already know what's in front of you. You already see, it's like you can already see it. But instead, you guys are almost fighting against it. And I feel like it's out of fear. Now, the Page of Wands is popping up. Page of Wands to me also always talks about distance. You see he's got the pyramids in the background. So maybe it could be one of those things like, let's say you're talking to someone from a distance and things have like majorly slowed down, right? Majorly slowed down. Could be an air sign, doesn't have to be, but there is a sense of needing to communicate things. Whether you guys are moving out of fear or even if you're just not interested. Some of you guys may just not be interested anymore, but some of you guys, I don't feel like it's that. I just feel like things have gotten a bit weird. Like this quarantine, people have been feeling so separated and also like in their own head and dealing with their own issues that almost like you might not feel like there's that connection or that spark anymore, but there is still like this person is still there. But I feel like they might be handling things a little bit immature too, right? Page of Wands energy. Page is very immature energy. It's the beginning stages, right? It's not mature yet. It hasn't reached its full potential of something yet. And not to say this person's immature, but maybe when it comes to dating or communicating certain things, they move a little slower, they move a little fast. I mean, a little wonky, right? Just because they don't have the experience or they don't have the confidence backing them with it. Some of you guys may be dealing with someone who's younger, but you know, I feel like there's passion here and I feel like this is someone that you can really trust. So some of you guys, this is like fighting to open up. Did you crawl back in your little Cancer fucking shell right now? Is that what's going on? Four of Cups again. Yeah, to me, it doesn't feel like, and for some of you guys, you might be questioning it. You know, like maybe the distance and maybe everything that's going on has made you question, like, is this even possible? Is this even practical? Do I even want it? I will say this full moon's going to be very intense for you guys. It's going to be intense for everybody, but I think for you guys, you're going to feel it too. It is a full moon in Scorpio, another water sign, so you guys might feel those emotions a little heavier, and it is going to be a very emotional moon. What I do love about this full moon that's coming up on Thursday, the 7th, is it's going to bring a lot of harmony to situations, and it's going to bring a big boost, like even in your spirituality. Like it's going to be a very spiritual, harmonious moon, which is good. So those of you guys who maybe things have been a little bit weird, maybe you haven't been communicating as much with someone, been feeling a little distant, been feeling a little closed off, this is an energy that is bringing you a chance to kind of fix a situation or talk about something, right? There's something new that you guys need to do though. Things weren't working out. I think that some of you guys were willing to walk away or wanting to walk away. And some of you guys, there is this essence of wanting to walk away from a situation. But I feel like some of you guys are going to come back around to this because I think you realize just what it is right now. Like intuitively, like you guys know, like this is just a weird place that a lot of people are in right now. Because you do have a Page of Wands that is coming up and we'll talk about that. So for some of you guys, this may be you issuing an apology or someone else issuing an apology to you guys. But whether you are moving on to something new or someone new, or this is something that you are trying to work on, something new has to be implemented, right? Two of Wands is about planning new action, right? It's new action. It's Wands, it's action, it's taking action, but it's this, instead of you guys just walking away and saying, forget it, forget everything, you guys are planning new action, right? A new way of communicating, a new way of doing things, a new way of bringing spice into a situation for many of you. Now, next, Magician, Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Cups. Okay? So the Magician can be very tricky energy, right? Because the energy of the Magician can be someone who likes to manipulate or kind of play games. But the Magician can also be someone who's just like, this is someone who's very confident and they do what they want to do, right? You got the Queen of Swords coming out here. So again, you may be dealing with an air sign, Libra, Gemini, or an Aquarius. Yeah, and look, the Fool. For a lot of you guys, this is about fixing a situation. So again, if things have gone kind of dry or been a little bit weird or stagnant or there hasn't been much communication, you guys have been thinking like, ooh, maybe they're not into me, or ooh, I don't know if I'm into this anymore. I just need to focus on me. Like it doesn't seem to be working out right. You know full well, like you pulled your energy away. And they may have too. But I feel like a lot of you guys are going to want to communicate about this and fix it rather than move forward in this. Right? Like this is a new beginning for a lot of you guys. Judgment card right there, right? Judgment card. It's about making a decision in many ways, but also we also have to remember whenever we get the Judgment card, it lets us know that it's a redo. It's a second try in many cases, right? So again, if things have been particularly weird, especially like in your relationships, right now May is going to give you that rebirth, that moment where you guys can reconnect and make something beautiful out of this again, right? Kind of reignite the flame. Now, that Knight of Pentacles, still moving cautiously. And I think going back to the King of Wands, the King of Wands, he takes risks, but he takes smart, calculated risks, right? So still being very mindful of being smart and planning things and really looking into things, whether this is something we want to do or not. But taking that risk ultimately. I think you guys are going to move slow into this. Now, Five of Swords, I feel like there's communication that's going to be basically with your communication, like things are going to be slowly overturning and being more positive again. So if you guys have been a little bit distant, look, we've got that Wheel of Fortune. I feel like, and where you were feeling like you didn't know if you wanted to continue on, you didn't know if you wanted to talk, you didn't know if you wanted to fix this. I think things are going to be moving slow. I think there's going to be a definite turnaround in your communication. Now, the Queen of Swords, this Queen of Swords, whether it is a man or a woman, this is a very elevated person. This is someone who's gone through things and learned their lessons, right? They use their wisdom and they push forward, right? So I feel like for even many of you, this has been a time where like maybe in the past with a different person or a different situation, you would have just like turned your back on it and been like, you know what, it's not working, whatever, and just dropped it. But I feel like you guys are wanting to put real work into it. But where things got a little weird or where they started to feel uncomfortable, for many of you guys, it reminded you of a past situation, right? So if like someone was pulling back their energy from you or you were to someone else, it almost was reminiscent of, oh, I've seen this go bad before and I really don't want to, you know, get into this. But it's like with you guys communicating and kind of coming together and being honest and vulnerable with your feelings, you're able to start over again. You're able to plant new seeds. And really, this is a time where you guys are getting to understand yourself, what it is that you need for yourself and the people around you more. Yeah, I feel like you guys are wanting to work on something. Page of Cups again at the bottom. Oh, and look at that. Queen of Pentacles is here again. Justice card. Could be Libra. This is about a coming together. Yeah. So Cancer, if things have been a little bit weird, especially in your love life, because this is what it's feeling like more to me at this moment, I think you guys are going to be coming to an understanding. I think that this is actually a blessing because it's shown you a lot about yourself. It's shown you a lot about the patterns you may repeat out of fear. And I think it's done the same thing for the person that you're dealing with. I think ultimately you guys are going to communicate and be able to come back, come back together in a way that's really, really healthy and beautiful. Now, there may be different factors in this, right? We've got past life relationship and we've got religious factors. Past life relationship, again, I just feel like you guys feel such a strong pull to this person. Like, this is what you want, but it's almost like the effort that it would take to push this forward, or the fears that are working inside of you. It's almost like you guys are almost the point where like, I don't know if I want to do this, right? Almost ready to bounce out, but you're too connected. Like, this is someone you see things with. This is someone who brings magic out of you. This is someone who can pull communication out of you, even though that may be hard, right? And they don't give up, right? Because this is what they want too. Now, religious factors not only talks about religious factors for me. This is also just like it's influence. Like, your love life is influenced by something. This could even be tradition. So maybe there's something about your relationship or your connection that's not traditional, right? And so even that scares you. Again, Page of Wands, if there is distance between you and this person, and I'm getting a lot of distance here just because we've got the Eight of Cups too, right? This Eight of Cups person goes on a journey, a distance. We've got the Two of Wands where we see into the distance, right? We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Anytime I see a knight, I always think of travel. So it could be a distance thing that is like, this isn't a traditional relationship or this isn't a traditional situation. I really don't know how to handle this anymore. And I'm starting to feel uncomfortable because we aren't talking or vibing the way we once were. And I'm just starting to feel a little insecure about it. And I'm starting to feel like, ooh, maybe this will be like the last case where things didn't go right, right? You would be better off just having the or having the talk that you need to have, being very vulnerable and expressing your communication. That way you guys can move forward in however way you want to move forward, whether it's with or without this person. But I do think that you guys will be exchanging messages back and forth. I do think that there will be this communication coming towards you guys. And ultimately, for a lot of you guys, I do think that you're going to push forward with this because I feel like there's a real big connection. Now, block out distractions, okay? It says your life purpose and other priorities need your undivided attention, so it's time for you to take charge of your schedule and working environment by turning off electronics and avoiding anyone or anything that distracts you from what's important. You already know that what these distractions are, and you have the power to responsibly block them out. Also here, right, going back to that Ten of Swords where she's holding the phone, if there are things that are distracting you at this time from your goals, from your craft, all of that, really standing your ground in that, right? If there's a person that is trying to come into your space and they're just bringing you nothing but drama, this is also a time to block out those distractions. And for many of you guys, maybe even if things have gone weird in your communication with someone, maybe it's been due to you guys trying to get back on track, get your home in order, get, things with your job, get your craft, all this stuff. And so again, going back to just communicating that with that person, that would be really important, because what it does is if you're just kind of pulling back from someone, whether it's in order to get yourself together or whether it's whatever the reason is, right? And you're not really communicating that, then that person might be reacting kind of weird and throwing off a vibe, which in turn makes you kind of act weird. And then you've got just like this back and forth. It's just really going nowhere. But it's really a question of this month. Do you want to be safe or sorry? I think you guys have some beautiful risks in front of you guys, and you know exactly what they are, but you have to get over your fear, and you're going to have to put in some work, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but you can do it. I feel like you guys already know what you want. It's just a matter of going out there and getting it and blocking out the haters, the negative self-talk, the distractions, all the things. What you want is right in front of you, and you have the power to get it with that Magician. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, Cancer.